thanks for watching Doing Life with Jenny. If you're new here, I just moved from the US to Mexico to the state of Hidalgo. If you can see them, this is my foster Sammy, my foster Penny, who's meeting a family after this video, and my beagle Ruthie. If you're here for Mexico content, this is not your video today, unless you want to stick around. I'm telling you why this past week was the most stressful week of my life. So Monday, November 20th was a holiday in Mexico, Mexican Revolution Day, so there was no class, therefore I didn't earn any money. But not only did I not earn money Monday, it was also Thanksgiving week in the US, which means I didn't teach my online classes. So the only students and therefore income that I had were my private students that I teach online or that I go to their houses. So that was just slightly stressful, like I knew it was coming. I tried not to go out to eat, I tried not to buy as many snacks and cut back a little bit. Coming up is Christmas break, and basically I won't have any income except for getting my private students. So it's had me a little stressed out, but not too much because like I can plan for it, it's expected. And I know that some people like to find like little camps for their kids to go to over these breaks. So I'm going to try and make a little English camp, and fingers crossed I'm moving into my house this weekend and I should be able to dog sit. And therefore I should be able to dog sit and maybe take on one more student because I won't have to be traveling to my current students' houses. And they do know that if they choose for me to still go to their house after I move to mine, that there is an additional cost because I do lose time before and after that I could be prepping or teaching another class, or I'm paying for public transportation, things of that nature. So again, that didn't really stress me out, but that was kind of like in the back of my mind, right? So then here comes my two foster dogs. Things have been going okay with them before they had their surgeries. So let me insert a current video of my apartment. Okay. As you can see, there is zero room, okay? If everybody is not in the bed, there is no room to stand or walk around, okay? So pre-surgery, they would come in and sleep with me or sleep outside in my yard depending on the weather. And then I would stick them in my yard to play. I could, and honestly before they had their surgeries, there wasn't much time where I had both fosters. So it wasn't too bad. Stick them in the yard, play, get their energy out, then come inside to sleep. But once they had their surgery, both of them got spayed and neutered, and then Sammy also had an abscess removed from his neck, and it was quite intense. So obviously they are not supposed to be playing. They shouldn't be like outside too much where dirt is going to get in and infect them. And then because of the nature of Sammy's surgery, the cone doesn't do anything. The cone keeps him from licking like the bottom part of his neck, but it doesn't keep him from scratching. And also the cone is not quite long enough, so he could still lick his boy incision. So it has been a nightmare to have 3 dogs, to keep them in the bed, to keep them from licking and scratching their incisions. I couldn't really put them in my yard because 1, they're not supposed to play or get dirty. 2, they've been working on the house and the dogs have honestly kind of been in their way and I felt bad. 3, I can't leave them in the apartment. You saw the video. It is not safe. Sammy got into chocolate among other things, but obviously chocolate is the biggest concern because my groceries are on my little cart. There's no cabinet, there's nowhere to put it up high, there's no hiding it. Like I put everything I put as much as I could in the fridge to keep it out of reach. So it has been a nightmare. I have slept almost zero, because every time Sammy moves, I think he might be scratching or licking his incision. A lot of times he is, so I'm like, Sammy, no, Sammy, no, Sammy, no, all night. Also, when I was doing my private classes online, they were playing, they were barking. It was not going well. It was usually they are good about playing on the bed, but there was one day with a brand new student, might I add, that Sammy had his cone on, and he insisted on playing there by my computer desk. So he was knocking the desk all around. He was knocking the stapler and papers off of the desk. And then Penny was joining in, and it was just a nightmare. And honestly, they're like pretty good dogs, but Penny is a puppy. Sammy is maybe 1.5, so they have energy. They're not doing anything dogs shouldn't do besides eating the chocolate. But it's just too much when I have to have 3 dogs here, literally in the bed. I do have tie-outs for them at my house, but Sammy really can't be on there because to have a tie-out, he has to have the collar, and then he's pulling, trying to move where the cable doesn't reach, and it's opening his incision up. So, yeah, as you can imagine, that has been way too much to deal with. And I was thinking, okay, Mexico has a holiday Monday, US has Thanksgiving break, it's a chill week, I don't really have to leave the house too much, it'll be fine, this is a good week to get their surgeries done. It helped because I could be here with them, but it did not help me. But it was an emotional, mental toll on me, I will say that, especially doing it all on no sleep. And then it's time for me to renew my temporary import permit for my car. It expires December 5th. So since I had to get the permit at Banjercito on the border, I'm thinking, okay, I can go to any Banjercito, sucursal, location, and renew it. So I go to the one in Pachuca, because it's the closest. I get there, and no, they tell me I have to go to the border or to a port. But I'm like, but I'm not leaving the country. I'm still a temporary resident. It hasn't expired. I'm not leaving. I live here. I'm staying here. No, but you have to go to the border or to the port. I'm like, this can't be right, okay? So I came home and did research, and everything is saying you can't renew it. You have to leave the country, or you have to go to the border or a port. The information was a little inconsistent, but everything was leaning towards like it's not possible to renew it, and especially not in the interior of the country. So I reached out to Gringos R Us, to their YouTube channel. Check them out if you're not already following them, because I know they just renewed theirs. Well, they told me they went to the airport at Querétaro. So I'm like, okay, I don't have the money for that this week, as I've explained why, but it has to be done. So Saturday, I packed 3 dogs up into the van and took a friend along to help me, and we drove 2.5 hours to the airport in Querétaro. So I get to the airport, and I'm supposed to be looking for customs. So I look for customs, and they're like, no, it's outside of the airport. Like, it's near the airport, but it's technically not at the airport. If the airport is on your left, you keep driving like 600 meters, and customs will be on your left. There's a sign, aduanas. Well, I get there, and it's Saturday. Since it's not the airport, it's like an actual office. Saturday, it's closed. So I drove 2.5 hours there and 2.5 hours back for nothing. So there was like a guard there, and he did make it seem like I was in the right spot, like he knew what I was talking about, what I wanted to do. And like I said, Gringos R Us, and like I said, the YouTubers Gringos R Us, they said they went there. So I'm feeling pretty good, like that's the spot to do it. Just the guard said they're open Monday through Friday. I'm like, well, I work Monday through Friday. If I don't go to work, I don't make money. That's kind of the bad thing about being kind of self-employed. With my online gig, teaching for students in the States, like I have 2 days I can take off for the whole school year. That's very limited. So I cannot take off one of those days. I cannot take off on a Monday because that's when I make the most money at the elementary school. So I guess I'm going to have to go back Friday and cancel my private lesson, or not cancel it, but reschedule it, and hope I can take care of it, because if I get there Friday and they're like, no, or you needed this and I don't have it, there's no time left. It expires December 5th. They're not open on the weekends, and like I said, I cannot go any other day except for Friday, unless I want to lose my job. We've already lost enough jobs. The dogs were actually decently behaved in the car. I had them in the very back, and I put a box so they couldn't come up to like the middle seats or the front seats, but of course they came on up. But they didn't destroy anything. They didn't have any potty accidents. Yeah. It was supposed to be a relaxing week. It was supposed to be a productive week to get very ahead on lesson plans since I didn't have much work. But no, I spent the week yelling at the dogs and crying and wanting to punch the wall, to just be quite honest. So I guess the only good thing is that on the way back from Querétaro, we stopped in Huichapan, which is in Hidalgo. I mean, it's a cute little town, but it's just like every other town in Mexico where it has the church and the gazebo little thing in the middle. So I'll roll that footage here at the end, so stick around for that. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more content about living in Mexico and a house tour very, very soon, stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Adios.